How's it going, everyone? This is Kevin. Today I want to bring along with me to talk about the crop on the A7 IV at 4K 60. So let's jump right into it. So I did an initial video on the thoughts, basically on the rumored specs of the A7 IV before, whenever there was just basically rumors about the 4K 60 crop and all that stuff, and just kind of how I wasn't really on board about it. I mainly talked about how I thought the Sony A7 IV would have to have at least 4K 120, not even in 10-bit color or anything like that, just to be legendary to overtake the A7 III. Now, I still believe that, but we can't change what's already been done. So we're going to talk about the reason why I don't think it's that bad to have the 4K 60 crop now that I've gone to use it. Now, something that I truly like about the 4K 60 crop is just being able to literally crop in with all my lenses and just plan accordingly to what I really want to create with some of the cropped in that I can get with the video mode. This helps me use my lenses to capture more focal range than what I would normally use because, well, it's cropping in. So all I have to do is know my conversions when it comes down to the crop into with my lenses that I'm using, and then be able to capture everything correctly if I plan it right. And that helps become irrelevant when it comes down to the crop of the lenses because I'm just, capturing with the things that I want to and knowing my lenses and the conversion, so I'm able to create whatever I want. Now, don't get me wrong, shooting in crop mode versus full frame, it is a little bit more of a hassle, but if you plan to only own the A7 IV, I don't want you to get discouraged with the crop sensor because it's not that horrible as one might think. I used to think it was pretty bad, the idea of it, but now after owning the camera, it's actually been quite rather fine, and I've learned to work around with it, which honestly, if you're buying any gear, you should learn how to use it no matter the limitations that it might have that works with your budget. Now, I am a firm believer that you got to know how to use the gear that you own before kind of judging it and complaining too much. There are limitations when it comes down to your gear, but also if you know how to work around it, your limitations kind of become obsolete because you're actually making it work for you. For example, I could have simply just complained about the A7 IV having 4K 60 crop and not gotten this camera itself, but in honest opinion, I was able to just overcome that and say, you know what, I'm gonna work around it and use it to my advantage because it is a great hybrid camera. And for me, well, if I just set that excuse already, I'm setting myself up to fail without trying to actually overcome the situation to just get over the 4K crop. The sun is finally peeking through, and trying to take some 4K 60 cropped footage, if you will. It looks pretty nice today, despite of a little bit of the cloudiness now that the sun is peeking through. But let's get back to a couple more points. So another point that I want to cover that kind of ties in with the not limiting your situation with whatever camera gear you have, there's always also growth. It always comes down to that you can create to a certain limit with whatever gear you have, and then you outgrow it and you kind of get the next best thing because your skills have developed so much. For me, that's what happened with the A7 IV and my Sony A7S III. I kind of outgrew my A7 III and my A7R III just because of this type of stuff that I was trying to create for myself, for my businesses, and this YouTube channel. It just made sense for me to upgrade into it, and despite the limitations, which is in quotation marks, of the 4K 60 crop, I can still create whatever I need to with this camera or my Sony A7S III when it comes down to video. Obviously with photography, this is a different total camera because there is no crop, but still pretty great to me, the 4K 60 crop. Now, despite of it being 4K crop, you still get a beautiful image out of it. And if you don't believe me, here are more videos with a 4K 60 cropped. Now let's review our final thoughts when it comes down to the 4K 60 crop. To me, it's not the most ideal. I wish I would have done 4K full frame, but I am gonna work with what I have. The 4K 60 crop is still a beautiful image, and you can do great wonders when it comes down to that. It's better than the A7 III where you got 1080p 60 frames all the way to 120 at 8-bit color. Even the 4K was 8-bit color, which kind of very limiting. At least we got 10-bit color all the way around, so which makes it a lot nicer when it comes down to the color grading and to be able to create more content. So that, with that alone, it's really nice when it comes down to the 4K 60 crop. I'll take what I can get, and like I said, work with what you got. I do like my Sony A7S III when it comes down to having everything full frame and 4K all the way up to 120 with 10-bit, and then getting that HD, the 240, even at 10-bit. But with that, I mean, you're paying a $1,000 difference of a camera, so if you're only going to get one camera, I would definitely just suggest getting you the A7 IV, because you get a true hybrid camera. It's very great with video and photo, so you get to create whatever you want, and despite the limitations of the 4K 60 crop, you're still able to create some nice video with slow motion and just, you know, have out and go and create. That's the best thing about it. It's just going out and creating, having fun with it. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.